Yeah, it's Canada Day. Ring, ring, bing, bing, bing. Live at the Elmo Combo, it's Triumph in 1977. Yeah, famous venue. The Gatefold. Yeah, so anyway, legendary Canadian outfit from Montreal. Yeah, it's also home of Olivier and Katie, my friends over there. Check out their channel. I'll leave a link in the description so you don't have to go looking. So anyway, yeah, bonjour to both of you and have a good Canada Day. So yeah, let's shut that down. We're going to talk about some Canadian tunes today. Maybe we'll get a beer for the occasion. It's Sunday fun day, eh? Let's see. Yeah, creature of habit here. Looks like the world's coolest dad is going for the Gansett. Yeah. Say hi. Oh, it doesn't have the hi neighbor thing on it. Twisting to nowhere there. So anyway, back to the agenda here. So yes, the agenda being all things Canadian. So yeah, it's July 1st tomorrow, so it's big party time up there with Embryonic Brian. He's having a major rager. Oh no, I'm joking. He's over in Italy doing Italian stuff. So yes. So anyway, we'll kick it off rocking, right? Triumph. Excellent power trio right here from the Toronto area. Actually, I think from Mississauga, from the west side, originally fronted by Rick Emmett, and you got Gilmore on drums and Mike Levine on bass. So this is Allied Forces, legendary album. This was huge when I was in high school, late 70s, 78, 79. And Fool for Your Love, Magic Power, Allied Forces, the title track. Really good. Follow up here, Never Surrender, and this one featuring Too Much Thinking, World of Fantasy, of course the title track, Never Surrender, and they do a really good live version of When the Lights Go Down. Look up the one they did at the US Festival in 1983 in Southern California. It's a really great version. In fact, if I think of it, I will leave a link to that live version of When the Lights Go Down. So that's Triumph, rocking on Canada Day. And they were rocking in 1985 in Halifax. This is a live album here, just simply called Stages of Triumph Live. So I think this was recorded over a couple of nights. Of course, the song I just mentioned kicks the whole thing off here, When the Lights Go Down. There's the guys right there. Frontman Rick Emmett, Gilmore, the drummer in the center, big tall guy, and Mike Levine on bass. Let's see if there's any more photos on the inside. Let's see here. Yeah, no, just a bigger blown up shot of that one I just showed. And it's basically a collage of the band on tour, and just their discography. Yeah, you get the idea. It's Triumph. All right, mellowing out a bit here. From Toronto, it's Jane Siberry. She was pretty popular in the college charts, that kind of thing. Not real mainstream. She did have a bit of a mainstream hit on this album. I don't know if this is her debut or the follow-up. It's called, of course, called No Borders Here. You could certainly go on about that today, couldn't you? But I won't. Meet Me on the Beach, right there. That was the song I'm talking about. Pretty big hit. So anyway, yeah, Jane Siberry, kind of alternative singer-songwriter, pretty cool. And that's a really cool song. If not for that one track, it's worth, that's a $5 record. I've seen that around. Actually, in the States, I've seen it. Tea Party from Windsor, Ontario. Another power trio here. Frontman Jeff Martin. He actually looks a lot like the late great Jim Morrison, I swear. So this is one of their, what's this album? No, it's early album, 1996, 97. They were active between about 1990 and the early 2000s, and then they disbanded. So I have 3 Tea Party. I have this one, of course, called The Edges of Twilight. Kind of Middle Eastern influences too in the background, kind of like when the Beatles were kind of psychedelic, kind of sitar playing in the background. That's the instrument I was thinking of, the sitar. And then lastly, this one was the Interzone, I can't even read it, Interzone Mantras, yes, because they're into this yoga stuff. So this is around 2001, this release. Let's see, there's a cool poster, yes. So you see what I'm talking about, kind of far out, psychedelic, right? Karma, yoga, mantra, yes. Tea Party, all right. little new wave action from the 80s. From these guys were from Toronto as well, also friends there of Embryonic Brian. I don't know if they hung out. It's possible. You might have known Sandy Horn. It was two lead vocals were split between Gordon Depp and Sandy Horn there, looking great. She still looks great. This is just a compilation of their best. Arias and Symphonies, Nova Heart, Smiling in Winter, Romantic Traffic. There's a really cool video of that where they're down in the subway system on the TTC, as it's called, in Toronto, and the video was filmed down there in the tube. So anyway, yeah, there you go. It's Collective Spoons. Another Toronto outfit, alternative, kind of synthy, new wave, if you will. Breeding Ground. This is a 6-song EP. Happy Now I Know, This Time Tomorrow. Of course, it's called Tales of Adventure. Let's see on the inside here. Yeah, if you know another act from Toronto, there's the band on the inside, 4-piece band right there. There's another band called Blue Peter, very similar if you're from Canada. If you don't know Breeding Ground and you know Blue Peter, they're very, very similar. So that's Breeding Ground. So here's a 12-inch single for Reunion. This was not on the radio, on regular Rock FM. I was listening to campus radio at this point. So I was learning about all this cool alternative stuff. And yeah, they were on the, if you can see it there, the Fringe label. That was a now defunct label out of Toronto, but Fringe had a lot of cool acts on that label, a lot of punk, a lot of new wave, a lot of just cool alternative stuff that was going on in Toronto all through the 80s were on the Fringe label. Another cool label is the Network label, right out of, there's the logo right there, out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Talking about Skinny Puppy. These are friends of Trevor at Flat Round and Spun. He's a big fan of Skinny Puppy. These are all originals I would have bought in the 80s when they came out. This one, 1986, the release date on this one, and it's called Bites. Kicks off with a tune called The Choke. Really, really, really cool industrial music. If you're into Front 242, if you know them, then that should lead you directly to Skinny Puppy. They're both pretty much the same wheelhouse of sounds, industrial sounds, and that's Skinny Puppy Bites from 1986. Classic rock action for you. It's Crowbar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-piece band, I think. They were best known for what's the big hit on here? Ooh, what a feeling, what a rush. Yeah, if you know that one right there. Ooh, what a feeling. Used to hear that all the time on Psychedelic Sunday on Q107. I've mentioned that classic FM radio program before. We're all over the map today, aren't we? It's Gord's Gold. Gord just passed, I think, last year, maybe the year just before. It's fairly recent, though. This is all I need. This is just a double LP set. All of his best, all his hits. There's other guys in the band right there on the inside of this gatefold. So, yeah, I mean, what do we got here? Canadian Railroad Trilogy, of course, was huge. Sundown's one of my favorites, too. I just think when I hear the song Sundown, it reminds me of being at my cottage. Well, whatever, in the States, they call it a lake house. My parents had a small cottage, of course, on a lake in Ontario. It was nice. We could only get this AM radio station from a small town. And Gordon Lightfoot, you hear him once an hour. Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, turning up the amps a little more, up from the Gordon Lightfoot stuff. Yes, he was just a really excellent guitar player out of Montreal. This album was recorded in the southern U.S., looks like Texas, and not sure the other half. It's kind of a 50-50 split across 2 states. Tune on here you want to look for is a tune called Dragonfly. Really shows off his guitar chops on that. Frank Marino I'm talking about. Does a cover of Purple Haze. I mean, Jimi Hendrix would have liked it, I'm sure. And yeah, it's really good. From 1977, that's Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. Max Webster, yeah. Fronted by Kim Mitchell. Fronted by Kim Mitchell. I'll spit that out. And there's Kim jumping up there, right there. Yeah, so they were from the Sarnia area. That's southwestern Ontario, down near Windsor, Detroit area. And they were pretty popular in the 70s. And this, of course, is called A Million Vacations. Paradise Skies, Night Flights, Let Go of the Line. That's just a really excellent tune. So Kim Mitchell was the lead singer. There is no guy named Max Webster. It's just the name of the band. And yeah, on the back, of course, I like it because it looks like a postcard, right? The track listing there. So pretty cool. I don't think there's much on the inside here. Just more postcards. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's all right. And yeah, they took A Million Vacations, and then the band broke up. Kim Mitchell went solo and had a pretty good run with that all through the 80s. And then eventually in the 90s, he ended up with an afternoon drive show on that radio station I mentioned in Toronto, the late great classic rock Q107. So then lastly, we've got the triple LP set. Yeah, I bought this I can't remember where. I bought it in Ottawa somewhere when I was at university. It wasn't my jam in high school, but then when I got into college, there was a guy in the dorm that played this over and over again in that first year, and I ended up picking up this copy. Look at it. It's like mint, and I've played this a lot. It's seen a lot of action, but I don't need to go over all these. I mean, it spans his whole career, like the stuff with Buffalo Springfield right up until Cortez the Killer and Long May You Run. Of course, that's another song he did with Stephen Stills. It's just so much good on here. Heart of Gold, Cinnamon Girl, Expecting to Fly, Mr. Soul, on and on. I mean, it's a triple set, and what's on the inside? Let's take a quick look. There's Neil. There's Neil looking contemplative right there with his guitar. He's about ready to turn in for the evening. So that's going to round up this Canada Day edition. So that's tomorrow. So if you're up there and you're celebrating, I hope you have a great one. Have a safe one. And maybe I'll come back to you on July 4th and we'll do it U.S. style. So anyway, rounding out your weekend. I'll see you next time.